Use device timestamps. Hello. All right, this should be should be working. I'm gonna check. I will check. Chat. Is it chat? Chat, is it working? Chat. Chat. All right. Why I started growing my own cigars? Oh, let's just look at what's going on. All right, let's see if it's working. Hello. All right, let's see if it's working. I don't hear anything. Wait. Hello. There we go. It is working. Perfect. All right. I'm going to leave this live and also check it to see if my audio settings stay the same. They should have, because I think I changed them in my system settings. Okay. Ready for this? 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 All right, cool. It works. Nice. Nice. All right, so. No. Okay, what are we doing today? Bang. All right, now it should be working. Hello. All right, now it should be working. Sweet. All right, and then I gotta get this guy right here. Pop out chat. Burp. And bada boom. A bada bing. Bada boom. I need another monitor. Like if I get another monitor, can I just like hook it up to my computer? I have to be able to do that. All right, Twitch. Oh yeah, that's me. All right, it pulled up it automatically. Okay, pulled it up automatically. That's what it did. Pulled it up automatically. Perfect. Okay. And I want, for organizational purposes, I want to get all these on one tab. Check. Bruh. Okay, this is making confused. This is like confusing me. There's like a million things going on. Get rid of you. Don't need you up right now. And this guy with the Twitch, you can minimize. You can go over here. Dude, what the frick is going on? This is AIDS. What is happening? This is crazy. What the hell? That like made it so confusing. That's funny. Okay. Oh yeah, so I was like making a script in Revit, well, PyRevit. So Revit's like a software that we use to like model buildings and stuff. Let me switch to just me. Just me. So Revit's like a software that we use to model buildings and like ductwork and pipes. We like lay pipe in the model I lay. Basically, my job is to lay like pipe in a model. I'm not joking. But so there's like a setup process that we have to do where we have to like make up all the sheets for the different disciplines. For we have like mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection, all that kind of stuff. And so we have to make the sheets in accordance with the way that the architect has their sheets, and then with the same view settings and stuff, whether there be like demo views or renovation views or floor plans or reflected ceiling plans, or basically just like the plans of a building. And then we put like our work on it. So that's how we make construction drawings. But we need to do a whole setup process to like make our model, and then based on the architect's model. But I did that for like maybe like 5-ish months when I started. And so I got pretty good at like doing it quickly, and then there was a point where I could like pretty much do it by heart, but I don't think I could probably do it by heart this time. I would have to like refer to the manual. It's like a 20 to 30 step process. And I'm basically like going through, there's this open source GitHub kind of like API sort of that allows you to write in Python and then tell Revit to like do things. So I added that add-in. It's called PyRevit. It's actually pretty cool and very useful because I was able to make it so that it did like half of the first step in the process. So you need to be able to like, you save the architect's like file into like a folder, and then you got to open it, and then you got to like clear a bunch of stuff in it, and then you have to like save a bunch of stuff into the external reference folder. And I was able to make it like automatically save all the things that I needed it to into the external reference folder in like an instant. And that step would have taken like maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, like that whole first step, maybe like 5 to 10 minutes it takes you. And now it's down to within like 10 seconds. So, 1/60th the time that it took to do that. So if I can make the whole like setup process automated, then that basically means that like any single project that we get in Revit, like you'll be able to do it in probably like maybe like 15 minutes. Because I know the longest part of it is like putting all the views on the sheets and stuff, and a lot of the time is taken up by like opening the sheets and like manually putting them in, because the system has to like load it up each time. So yeah, but it seems like if I do it via a script, it'll work a lot faster, and I think that I could get it down to like 10 to 15 minutes to do an entire Revit setup. Whereas like it could take anywhere from like an hour to, if you're really fast, you might get it down to like 45 minutes. But it could take anywhere from like an hour to like, I think the longest one it took me to do was like 4.5 hours, maybe 5 hours, because there were just so many sheets that like you needed to set up, and so many levels you needed to like copy and stuff. It was like a big deal. But yeah, if that could get like automated, that'd be great. And then people wouldn't have to do like spend tons of time doing setup work, just making things more efficient. But then yeah, that was like pretty much it. But I titled this video like "Just Keep Going," like it's worth it or something. Just keep going. It's worth it. Because it is. You're going to have times where you're like tired, and sometimes you'll like be doing everything right. No, well, you're not going to be doing everything right, but you'll be doing things as right as you possibly can be doing, or that you're used to doing. And then, like, they have that saying, that idiom, that like no good deed goes unpunished. So, like, you could be doing you could be doing your absolute best, and still there's going to be times where it's either life or God, like providence, there's going to be tribulations. Now, God doesn't tempt us, but he allows things to happen. He has a permissive will in which he is not like making something happen, but he's allowing it to happen. So yeah, there's sometimes like you're doing things really well, but then obstacles still get like in your way, and they still, or just like you just have a million things coming at you at once, and and you don't feel like you're going to be able to make it through it, because you're at your absolute maximum capacity and things aren't letting up. But if you just keep going, you'll get to a point where you'll be in the middle of your run, and you'll get the runner's high, where you aren't paying attention to how your body feels anymore, because it's just like yeah, you aren't paying attention to like your health or anything. You just keep going forward, and then like you just finish it out, and after like 20 straight miles of running, your body gives out, and you pass out. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, if you just push through, you'll be able to get through the end, because God will give you the strength to make it through everything that life has to throw at you. He made you for this. Literally every single person on earth was made for this life. We were made for this. It's why we were born. We were built for this. All right, anyway. Now, okay. I wanted to just like stream today because I put it on my calendar. I set it as like an event to do, and I saw the time like ticking by, and yeah, there was just like a lot of stuff to do. I didn't eat dinner. I did eat breakfast and lunch, which is odd for me because I usually don't eat breakfast ever, and then I'll eat lunch sometimes when it's like offered with like a company thing, or if it's like or if like me and my coworkers like going out to eat or something, or if there's like some really really good deal, like that on Wednesdays and Sundays. McDonald's has the 67-cent burger, and I will go out and I will get a 67-cent burger because it's like just down the road, and then I can order it and I can get the burger like instantly. I can just go through the drive-thru, get it, and it's like it comes out to like 71 cents, but that's so worth it because it's like 10 minutes, and I don't have to make it. Super reasonable, and it's not like I'm eating it like every day. It's twice a week. You eat one little burger. It's like the small burger from the value menu or whatever. But anywho, I keep saying anywho or anyway. I'm gonna put away my headphones. Apparently, like your headphones, I don't know, it could be like cancer or something. I don't know. There's definitely like a limit for how much you can do it. Yes, sir. Christ. I mean, I'm just gonna chill, really. Like, I just wanted this to get done because I had it on my schedule. I have a lot of other things on my schedule. I might just do them while I'm here. Let's see. I got my soundboard. I got new sounds. Get this right here. Got my book. Oh, I don't want to lose my place. That would be really annoying. I would not find that. Well, I would, but it would be annoying. Did I leave my pen in here? It's not. It's a little weird, like, just, I mean, obviously, like, nobody's watching right now, but it's like when you're at work or something, or you're in the presence of other people. You don't really, like, talk out loud or say your thoughts out loud. Maybe some people do, but I do not do that. Like, you choose what you say, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. Makes sense. But, yeah, now that, you know, it's kind of weird because I am technically talking potentially, like, in front of people. But it's because there's like nobody there physically that you kind of just don't have the same inhibitions as when you are out and about, out and about with people. I'm not Canadian though. Out and about. Okay. What day is it? Bruh, it's been 5 days already since I did this. Okay. 04/16/26. We got the voice. So I have this thing where I'm like analyzing every single instance in which Jesus rebukes like a stranger. Because I had a conversation with my friend a while back about like confronting people in like in public, especially like when you don't know them, because like it's not, I don't think it's like a good thing to like tolerate evil or even just like really bad, like poor social courtesies or anything like that. It's like if nobody, like if like nobody's gonna tell them, it's like they're just gonna keep doing what they're doing. So the story goes that like, you know, there was like a guy and, you know, we were like at the gym and it's like a personal, like it was like an apartment gym, and like they were playing like some loud music, and actually at first I didn't know it was a guy. I was like sitting on the bench, and then over like to the left of me, actually let me rewind. So I was in the gym, I was working out, and then I needed to like step outside for some reason. I needed to like go on the phone or something, and then I smelled like weed, and I'm like, you're not supposed to be like smoking weed at the apartment complex. So I looked around, I saw that there was a guy there, and I didn't know if it was that guy, because then there were two other people like far out in the middle of the courtyard, and I was just sitting on the phone talking, and then that guy left, and like the weed smell like didn't go away. So I was like, okay, those people are probably like smoking. So like I walked over like towards them, and then I saw them like pull out a lighter or like light something, and then like I like walked up to them, and like they put it away or something, and I was like, excuse me, are you guys like smoking weed? And then they're like, oh, we're just chilling. We're just chilling. I'm like, So that's a yes. You're smoking weed. Like what? Now we're just chilling. But so I go. You guys know that you're not supposed to be like doing that here. It's like not. It's not like considerate to your neighbors and stuff. Like you're not. They don't allow that here. And then they were like, oh sorry or whatever. And I was like, yeah, just please don't do that anymore. It's like, yeah, I'm being like a Karen or whatever, but I don't I don't really care. I don't really care. I I think that people should be considerate. You know, it's like George Costanza in that one episode of Seinfeld where he's like, "We're living in a society." So, I yeah, I I just didn't. I I want people to be courteous to other people. So I like corrected them, and then I was like, "Yeah, all right, just have a good day." And they were like, "Yep, have a good one." And then I walked out, and then like I got into the went to the gym, and I'm like sitting at one bench, or like I'm sitting at the row machine, and to the left of me, I hear like loud music, but the music is like super raunchy and like it's just like really bad. Um, which I understand. Like I have listened to like that, like music that's probably close to, if not like on par with that level of like raunchiness, but um, I'm not proud of that. And also, uh, and also, it's like in a public setting for like other people to hear because it was playing like really loud. And there were like two girls that were on the machines like over where the music was coming from, and then I'm just like am I like what is happening right now? So I like lean over and I like lean over and look at them and I'm like, excuse me, could you guys like turn down the music or like turn it to something else or just come on. And then they kind of looked at me like I was crazy, which was a little bit warranted because what I couldn't see is like they were like over there, but then right behind them, behind like a pillar, was a dude, and then the dude like leaned out, and he was like, what's wrong, man? He's like, you want me to put on gospel music or something? And I was like, yeah, like if you could just turn up like anything else, like I don't care. I don't want to listen to that. It's like crass and it's like gross and it's like loud as well. Which I mean, if it was a guy, like if I knew that it was a guy doing it as well, I would have said something as well. It wasn't that like it was a girl because when the guy did talk, I was like, yeah, could you change it? But um, and now that I like thinking back on it, it's probably like worse that he's like doing it in front of just like some random women. It's I don't know. Because it did make like a lot more sense that it was a guy playing it because the lyrics were like pretty. It's just not. It's not raunchy in the way that like girls listen to raunchy music. It's raunchy in the way that guys listen to raunchy music. It was like that kind of tone. So it was like it made more sense once like the guy like leaned over. But anyway, uh, so I just like kind of said that I was like, yeah, it's like crash, and like I don't want to hear it, and it's not considerate as well. And then he goes, he like stared at me for a second, and he's just like, all right, like I got you. So then he like looked up stuff, and then he ended up putting on like reggae music, like Bob Marley or something. And then I don't know. After I was like, oh, thank you, and then just continue my workout. Midway through the workout, I was like, okay, maybe I was like going a little bit too hard. Like I don't know this guy, but then I walked up to him and I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean to get like all worked up about it. It's just I was like that kind of music like disheartens me, and I really like Bob Marley. Like I love reggae and stuff. So like you made a good like you had a good like taste of music, and thank you for being like accommodating. And so he was like, yeah, that's all right. And then he told me his name, I told him my name, and then that was like that. So then I can't remember if I had the conversation with my friend after the second incident or after the first one, but that was the first one. Now the second one was I was in the gym like another day, and um, and then what was it? Oh yeah, the same guy came in. I had my earphones in, so like they were like noise canceling, and I was like on the other side of the gym as well. So I couldn't really tell that they were like playing super loud music, like immediately, but I picked it up like later on when I like moved closer or my music went down or whatever. But he came in, the same guy came in, but he had like two of his friends with him, and this guy, he's like pretty close to like my height, um, maybe like half an inch shorter, but he's like built as well. And then he had a friend that was like an inch to 2 inches like taller than me, and then he had another friend who was like maybe an inch or two shorter than him, like the first guy. Um, and so, and they were all like athletic looking dudes, but they started like blaring that music as well. Um, and then I'm like, I go up to that guy because like I met him before, and I'm like, hey man, and I call him by his name. And I'm like, hey, can you like turn down the music a little bit? And then he was like, hey man, like it's not me, it's my friend. And he like points over to like his taller friend, and the guy's like, I walk over to him and I go, excuse me, can you turn down the music? And then he's not like belligerent, but he's I guess he's just like being like a little bit more like aggressive towards me, and like not as cordial of a tone with me. And he's like, hey man, like this music is not like turned down. He's like, if you don't want to listen to it, he's like, you turn your ass up. So I was like, well, we're like neighbors, like we're all sharing the same space. It's a pretty small gym. You don't have to be like blaring it because they have like a huge speaker, like maybe not a huge speaker, like I don't know, it's like yay big. There's a big-ish speaker that was able to fill the entire gym, and so I'm like, hey man, like we're all just neighbors, so can't you be like considered neighbors? So like you guys live here, right? I was like, I know this guy lives here. Like, do you guys all live here? And then he's like, oh, we all live here, whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, like can you? And then he turns over to me, and then he like stares me in the face. He's like this music is not. He's like this music is not turning down. And then I just stared at him like this. I'm like, are you being for real? Like we're all like neighbors, bro. Just love your neighbor. And then after like a minute of just me, like maybe not a minute, like 30 seconds of me just like standing there and like staring and like not like doing anything, and like looking over at the guy that I met, and he goes, hey man, like he turned down the music, and then I could tell like he did turn it down like a little bit, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not gonna like make a huge thing about this, but um, and then I said like again, thank you guys for being like accommodating, and then I just went back to working out, and then they were also like taking up like a lot of the gym equipment, multiple like gym equipment things. While we were working out, like jumping in between one and another, so like other people couldn't really use it. So I was just like patiently waiting for the equipment that I was supposed to use, for that to open up from them, and then what happened? Then it opened up, but before it opened up, I just started like. Usually I go like a lot harder on like the punching bag or like the heavy bag. It's not really a heavy bag. It's like a regular bag because the heavy bag guess it would be still considered a heavy bag. It's just like a heavy bag, but it's not a long heavy bag that's like the length of a full person. It's just like the torso heavy bag. So I was like, I usually go harder on the heavy bag, but like I'm not trying to get. I don't know. It would just be like kind of weird if you got into like a semi-confrontational thing and then like you just start going hard at the punching bag. Like that's kind of cringe. So I was just like doing my like light punching, just like kind of working on my, like my form and stuff. And then they jump off the machine that I was supposed to go on. I start working in there. Or actually, I asked the shortest guy. I was like, "Are you working on this machine?" And he was like, "Oh no, you're good." And like the way that he talked to me was like way, you know, sunshine and rainbows compared to the tall dude. And then I was like, "Oh yeah, hey, thanks." So I sit down, I start working out, and then the other guy, the shorter guy, he like starts working on the bag or whatever, and the original guy that I met, he starts also like punching the bag, and I could tell that they could fight ish, but like it didn't seem like they were formally trained in any kind of like martial arts. So I go over to like the shorter guy, and I was like, "Hey man, like I see you like kicking the bag there or whatever. Do you know any like martial arts?" And he was like, "No, I don't really know any martial arts, but yeah, I saw you kicking the bag." And he's like, "You seem like you know what you're doing." So I was like, "Would you like to learn like a couple kicks?" And then he was like, "Yeah, sure." So I showed him the basic like 4 kicks in like martial arts, um, or like karate. It's like the front kick, and then the roundhouse kick, and then the side kick. And I think I showed him. I think I showed him the back kick, either back kick, or maybe I just showed him the 3. Maybe I showed him the heel kick. I didn't show him like any super advanced ones. I think I just showed him like the regular front kick, the roundhouse kick, and the side kick. I didn't want to like add too much on. But like after me showing him and then letting him like do it and stuff, he seemed like really appreciative. And I got his name, but I forgot his name. I don't remember. I only remember the first guy that I met, his name. Um, but anyway, it ended on like a positive note. So I came back, and then I think after that interaction, I talked to my friend, and then um, I asked him about like confronting people in public, especially when like, I understand that like I'm not like a perfect human being. I can be hypocritical at times. A lot of times I'm like hypocritical, and so I need to. It's like you need to remove the beam out of your own eye before you remove the speck in your brother's eye. So, uh, like, I was basically asking him, like, how do I, you know, not be like super tolerant of like stuff that's not good, but also, um, not be like super focused on like other people's problems or other people's misdeeds, misgivings. I don't know. So I I asked him about that, and then he gave me a really good suggestion, which was to go through the entire all 4 of the Gospels, and then to write down the verse. Uh, go through the entire 4 Gospels, and then find out when Jesus rebukes like a stranger, meaning someone who's like not his disciple, um, or like follower, or just like, yeah, someone he doesn't know, and then like write down these things: the verse, the context, the setting, the number of witnesses, the topic of conversation, his approach, and who he's talking to. So it's like kind of like the main points of like whenever you're like going through, if you go back to like English class, you write down like the topic, the setting, the tone. That's kind of like his approach or whatever. The what else? Uh, oh, the witnesses, so like the audience. But yeah, it's like those main things that you're like picking out in order to analyze a text. So he's just doing that, but for every single instance in which Jesus rebukes like a stranger, because Jesus is like our perfect example. He lived a perfect life, and so we should be following in his footsteps for everything that we're trying to do. And in moments where you need to go out and confront someone, your best bet is to look to the one that created you and created the other person that you're rebuking, um, because he knows everything and he did everything perfectly. So he's just the perfect example. So I think I mentioned in the call when he like said that, I was like, yeah, that's probably like a really good exercise, because whenever they're training, people have probably heard this. You guys have probably heard this, but when they're training CIA people to like catch counterfeit bills, or bankers or something to catch counterfeit bills, they just like acclimate them with the bill itself. Just drop a pen. They acclimate them with the real bill, because there's something about like humans where we pick up on like very subtle changes in what like we're used to. So it's like if you're super experienced with like, I don't know. Let's say you were like, you had a pen and you would like flip the pen around. I don't know why I'm making a different analogy to say like the same thing, as I went to an analogy about the CIA, and then I'm going to like another analogy about a pen, which is probably less like makes it probably like will click less if I go down this avenue. So I'm just not going to go down that avenue. But you get it. So you get acclimated to the right bill, the $100 bill, the $1 bill, whatever. I probably don't care that much about the $1 bills, unless there's a lot of them. But they get so used to the real money that as soon as there is a counterfeit, they can recognize that there's a counterfeit, because like something just seems off. They're like, this isn't the real deal. So that's why we need to be analyzing Jesus Christ, because as you go on, you'll be able to recognize Christ in other people. You'll be able to recognize when you're acting like Christ, and then you'll be able to recognize when something's a little off or your behavior is out of line. So I think that is a beneficial and worthwhile exercise. So that was a very long story, and there was a lot of yapping. I don't usually yap. I really don't. I really don't actually yap that much at all throughout the day. But I kind of have to do it, sort of, when you're on camera, I guess. Because like otherwise, how is it entertaining? I don't know. Maybe I'm not entertaining at all. Maybe I'm just not entertaining at all. So it doesn't really matter if I'm just like silent. But anyway, I'm gonna go and look up the next verse. Okay, so I ended off Matthew 9. Ooh. Okay, it's 9:52. I don't have much time, but hopefully we'll get through this quickly. Wait. Can you hear that? I don't know. I don't know if that was picking up the water drop sound. Matthew 9:14 to 17. Okay. Bruh. What am I doing? I'm going to the Old Testament. Matthew 9. Matthew 9:14 through 17. Okay. So now I gotta find the next instances. Okay. While he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler and worshipped him, saying, My daughter is even now dead, but come and lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. And Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years came behind him, and touched the hem of his garment, for she said within herself, If I may but touch his garment, I shall be whole. But Jesus turned him about, and when he saw her, he said, Daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith hath made thee whole. And that woman was made whole from that hour. And when Jesus came into the ruler's house, and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose. And the fame hereof went abroad into all the land. Yeah, I don't know if that's an instance of him rebuking them. He didn't rebuke them like with words, but they doubted. Excuse me. They doubted like his speech. So when Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, he said unto them, Give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. So he's saying she's asleep and not dead. And then they like laugh at him because he's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And they laughed in the scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose. And the fame hereof went abroad into all that land. So that could... It's not like a formal rebuke. It's more like a rebuke of action. Because he didn't really like correct them with words. He just like showed them. He's just like, I guess actually like that's a good example of like what to do in like circumstances where like if like you're like 100% right about something, like what does Jesus do in that instance when the people are responding to his like truth? They're responding to his truth not with like argumentation or anything like that. They're just like contemptibly laughing at him. Is contemptibly a right word? Or contemptfully? Contemptful? Contemptuously? Contemptuously? Maybe that's right. That sounds more correct. They're laughing him to scorn. So, yeah, they're not engaging with what he's saying. They're just like straight up disbelieving what he's saying. And so what does he do? Is he doesn't say anything. He just goes in, grabs the girl by the hand, and then she wakes up. And then all of them were proved wrong. So I think that's a rebuke by action. I think that counts. All right, so verse. But when the people were put forth, he went and took a minute, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Matthew. So the verse is Matthew 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if anybody's seen that Key and Peele sketch. Sketch. I don't know if anybody has seen that Key and Peele sketch. Where he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. And he's like, why are you counting in base 9? In increments of 9. He goes, oh, well, I just like count all the 9s first, and then I get up to 9, and then I just count like another 9 after. I don't even know what he was saying. Came into the ruler's house. Oh, Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making. Hey. And Jesus came into. Okay. Matthew 9, 23 through 26. Okay. Next. Context. A rich, young ruler had just asked for Jesus to come and heal. Maybe it says his daughter at the beginning. A certain ruler worshipped him, saying, my daughter is even now dead, but come lay thy hand upon her, and she shall live. Jesus to come and heal his daughter, his hija. Dude, I was in the park and some lady called her dog her hijo. I was like, bruh, what is going on? Please, no dog moms. Please, no dog moms. All right. And heal his daughter, who he believed to be expired. No, dead. On his way over to the maid, he was touched by a woman she was about 12 years. He was touched on the hem of his garment. What is the hem? Is it like the outside or something? Like hem work? Is it like the stitching or something? He was touched on the hem of his garment, and she was healed of the issue of blood that had been a plight to her. A plight, or is a plight more of like a societal wide thing? Or is it definition of plight? A dangerous, difficult, or unfortunate situation. Okay. Had been a plight to, yeah, that's right. Had been a plight to her for the span for a span of 12 years. If I may touch his garment, I shall be whole. Okay. Okay. Context. That's good enough context. Now, setting. Setting inside the ruler's house. And I believe this is in Capernaum, maybe? I don't think he's moved anywhere since then. Since last time. I can't remember if he's moved anywhere. Same as last entry is the setting. What was the last entry setting in this one? Sinners are choosing his types too. Setting is Capernaum. He probably is still in Capernaum. I'm not going to say though, because I'm not sure. Inside the ruler's house. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood 12 years, daughter, and the woman was made whole from that hour. And when Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the minstrels and the people making a noise, he said unto them, give place for the maid. I can also mention that it is loud in the house. There's a house which was, so inside the ruler's house, which was filled with the raucous, you spell raucous, raucous, R-O-C-O-U-S, raucous, no, R-A-U-C-O-U-S, which was filled with the raucous noise of minstrels and people. Topic of conversation. Topic of conversation. It wasn't really a conversation where the rebuke actually happened, but what was happening, the conversation beforehand was, it wasn't really a conversation at all. Jesus informing the people of the house, I believe. Yeah. People of the house. Jesus informing the people of the house that the young maid was asleep and not dead. They respond by laughing him to scorn. Topic of conversation. Who he's talking to. The people in the rich ruler's house. Domicile. Yeah. Is it rich young ruler, or did I just add that in? Yeah, I just add that in. Well, he spake these things unto them. Behold, there came a certain ruler and worshipped him, saying, and rich and young. Yeah, I should get rid of the rich and young. The rich young ruler is a different one. A ruler had just asked for Jesus. Okay, got rid of rich and young. Man, that guy's probably in heaven, and he's like, come on, man. Inside the ruler's house. Okay, Jesus in front of the people's house. The young maid was asleep and not dead. He responded by laughing him to scorn. Who he's talking to? The people in the ruler's house. It is unlikely that they are believers in Christ before the miracle. As they respond to what would normally be considered good tidings to the people of a house who presumably had just lost one of its members. It is unlikely that they are believers in Christ before the miracle, as they respond to what would normally be considered good tidings to the people of a house who presumably had just lost one of its members, with contempt and flippant. No, that doesn't flow right. I guess I'll just say with flippant contempt. Is flippant with an A or with an E? Flippant. Okay, spell it right. Flippant contempt. Okay. talking to. Is that all of it? Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, wait, this is not. Did I miss? Oh, I missed one. Bro, I always miss this one. Number of witnesses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who are you talking to? Okay, I don't know why I always miss number of witnesses. Okay, also I want to write in this. Christ chooses to not combat their impiety. Christ chooses not to combat their I don't want to use contempt again. I could. I'm gonna say, okay. Christ chooses to not combat their disregard for his words with argumentation or reflexive ridicule. Instead, he sagaciously 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 no e sagaciously instead he sagaciously negates instead he sagaciously negates it instead he sagaciously negates it via a display exposition via an exposition of what true, capital T, true faith, capital F, of what true faith can accomplish. So much so that its true faith can accomplish so much so that its magnificence, so much so dang. So much so that its grandiosity, no, not grandiosity. Magnificence. Is it with an E or with an A? Magnificence. Okay, spelled it right. Can accomplish so much so that its magnificence could seldom be dismissed as it so incautiously was at this juncture. No. Seldom be dismissed as it so incautiously was in this instance. Cautiously was by the people of the house. By the people of the house. Also consider the souls won over by the splendor of splendor with an O or with an E? Splendor. Splendor. That's what I know. Okay. Also consider the souls won over by the splendor of such an act of grace. Okay, now number of witnesses. It said that he went over with his disciples, right? While he spake these things unto them, behold, there came a certain ruler of worshipers, and Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. Okay, so his disciples came. So Jesus, excuse me, 12 apostles. I'm pretty sure he has all of them at this time. So it's 13. And then the rich ruler, 14. The girl who woke up, I'll count that too. And then the people of the house. It's a ruler's house, so there's probably like, I don't know, maybe like 30 people. So we'll call it like 40 to 45 people. Probably around 42 to 45 people, including Jesus and his disciples. Okay. There's one of them. Okay, now it's 10:24. Dude, I got to go to bed now. Oh, man. Okay. All right. Dude. I'm so tired, bro. I need to take a shower. This might be a little bit too much. That's okay for now. Okay. All right. Hey, guys. Love you. Later.